Yeah, dude. I think a lot of content creators, they see what's coming up next and they move. They gravitate towards that. You know,
Mm.
I showed you recently. What's her name? Lele.
Lele Pons.
Yes, her.
Pons.
I've never really watched her videos, to be honest with you.
Mm.
Starting with Vine, I was never really into Vine. I mean, partially because I didn't really have a phone.
You didn't have
around.
a phone
I,
back
I
then
don't think so. Or did I have the
during Vine?
HTC, like the first one?
I
I
think you
might
had
have
a
had the
phone, dude.
HTC. But I never had the app.
You have to have had a phone though.
Okay, I probably had a phone, but I don't remember downloading that app
Okay.
and watching all these
Hmm.
videos. I might have seen some like a compilation on YouTube.
That's where she started. Vine.
Yes, that's what she started. Yeah, and then
We're talking
gravitating.
about Lele Pons.
Correct. And then she gravitated towards the next thing because that was dying,
IG.
and the next thing was IG, and now it's taking over. TikTok.
Ah.
TikTok's gonna be the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm sure she's huge on TikTok.
Is she?
Well,
Probably.
she's
I mean,
growing,
probably.
but yeah, she's she they took out that new video that I showed you, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of her story. Um,
The Secret Life of Lele.
correct.
Something like that.
Secret Life of
She has
Lele.
severe OCD. Or
Yes.
the title of the video is I have severe OCD.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Let us know what you guys think about it. Um, I do understand because a little. I looked a little bit into her. Like I said, I don't know much about her. I know
Mm.
you sent me a lot of like, dude, what the hell is this on Instagram? A lot of videos from her. That's like,
Not a lot, dude.
okay, not okay. Yes, not a lot,
I
but
mean, I do come across her skits and whatnot on
yeah,
Instagram. But to be fair, before we even get started,
yeah,
I think her content is stupid, but it's not really meant for me. Her audience that she's appealing to, in my opinion, is gravitated more towards teenage girls and teenagers, and it's more of like a childish kind of stupid funny
yeah,
comedy where you're falling through glass doors and shattering doors, and then you trip and fall over and break a table or some dumb shit like that. It's not really meant I can't see any sensible adult laughing at that shit.
right. I agree
It
100%.
like that has to be kids. So with that being said, that's in regards to her content specifically.
Yes, and I agree 100%. As far as her videos, she has a, I guess,
By the way, she has over like 20 million followers on Instagram.
yeah,
So
no, yeah,
she has a massive following.
she is, yeah, she's huge. But in regards to that video that she brought out, having OCD, um, I don't know. I think you can agree with me,
Maybe we'll see.
but it seemed more like a pity party. Feel bad for me. Um,
Mm.
and then gravitating towards, pushing towards like her new coming, which is music.
Yeah.
I don't know much about her. I didn't even know she sang, um, or even has songs out. But to me, it just felt like it was pushing her next thing, which is I'm gonna be making music, and you know what I mean. Just kind of feel sympathy for me and understand where I'm coming from,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I'm not well versed on like people who suffer from OCD, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and based on what she's saying and the imagery that we saw of
Yeah,
her, it's it's disturbing.
it looks, yeah,
I don't know. I'm just not that well educated on it. The whole thing just seemed kind of forced and out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from it, because I was kind of going back on her page and just looking up at her content because I wanted to kind of familiarize myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
Prior to than just like I didn't want to just jump in and start shitting on somebody without even knowing or being familiar with their catalog, right? So, I I didn't see anything whatsoever that gave any sort of indication that she ever had an issue with that. And then there was a clip where she was, crying and, asking when did social media become so evil and why do people bully the way they do,
Mm-hmm.
which is a whole. It's very hard for me to give her sympathy in that aspect, just because ultimately she chose the career. She chose being an entertainer as a profession, and she's doing that. And when you do that, you open yourself to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Like your life becomes something that
Everybody
can be
else's
easily
life.
judged because it's
Yeah.
it's visible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anybody can take their shot at you, and especially when your audience are kids
Mm-hmm.
or just the youth, younger kids, basically. They're gonna troll, man.
Oh, absolutely.
They're gonna troll. They're gonna talk their shit because they're kids, and that's what they do. And
That's
there's
what they do.
there's no repercussions.
Mhm.
Everybody knows this. This isn't something new that's happening in social media. This has been around for a while. As far as I can remember, there's always been shit talkers,
Yeah.
right? And for you to start crying and being upset over it, it's like, well, if it's such a huge dilemma for you,
Mm-hmm.
just quit,
But okay, so
right? If it's such a problem, just throw your hands up and step away.
exactly. That's
Otherwise, just face the repercussions, the give and the take, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's good and bad for every action. There's an equal or greater reaction. So you put something out into the world, you put your content or whatever out, and you're gonna reciprocate some good energy, and you're gonna reciprocate some bad energy, and it just
Exactly.
is what it is. This is what you chose. This is the avenue in which you operate, and you just have to deal with it, dude. I don't see any other way around that. So when she started crying, it was like, really? That just seemed like you're just trying to make people feel bad for you almost.
But do you think that? Because I mean, that seems like the obvious solution. Just stop, quit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But what if that's her only outlet? Because they did mention that
What?
that making videos and making content,
Uh-huh.
creating all this, being a perfectionist at it, is an outlet for her. Is an outlet for
Mhm.
her OCD and THC, OBD, Q, WXYZ, whatever the hell else she has.
Mhm.
That is her outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what about that?
Yeah, just I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. How much are you willing to take in order to express yourself? If that's the case,
Mm,
it just falls back to this. It boils down to the same thing.
yeah. I personally think she's gonna get some heat for this. She hasn't
think so.
had
I
she
just-
hasn't had heat. I mean, this is 3 days, like about 3 days fresh. She hasn't had heat thrown at her in maybe like 2 years or so. I believe the last time that she had some sort of like controversial thing going on, some sort of drama, was her and her like best friend. What was her name? God, what's her name? She was also a Viner. She like started off.
Mm.
Damn, did I forget her name? But she's pretty big, and basically, I don't know if you know the whole story of what happened. But they would make videos together, and she went into her best friend's YouTube and deleted some of the videos. She basically lied to her face. Even
Okay.
after the fact that she told her like, I'd never do that. I'm your best friend. This and that. So it's kind of shady in that sense. And people caught on to that, and they kind of exploited her, and told people who she really was. This and that. I guess after that, it kind of died down for the next couple of years. Then she brings this out, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like she's gonna bring heat back for that.
Nah. I think this is. I mean, this is only gonna benefit her. I only see this benefiting her, to be honest.
In what way?
Man, I think she's gonna be able to gain people are gonna see her in a different light, and she's gonna pull the sympathy chords of a lot of people, especially nowadays. Like I was saying, we live kind of in a weird space where there's so many people that claim that they have anxiety, and some people do.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that some people just misidentify regular stress.
Oh, okay.
And in order to become part of this, because it's almost like a trendy thing, dude.
So like a Me Too type of thing.
I don't understand the reference.
Me Too?
Yeah, what do you mean?
So everybody.
Oh yeah. Right,
okay.
right. So everyone wants to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That makes sense. But I lost my train of thought. So it becomes like a trendy type of thing, right? Where everyone wants to say. People say it just very passively. Anxiety can be a very serious thing, but just because you experience stress, and nowadays there are a lot of people that are sensitive and they kind of break down easily, and they don't know how to really handle themselves and maneuver with when things are kind of when there's pressure being applied, and so they automatically fall back to the reason as to why they're kind of losing their shit is due to anxiety, when it's just momentary stress.
Yeah.
So you're able to kind of you're dipping your toes into a pool of a pretty large community, and I think people are gonna look at that and say, "Oh yeah, I kind of feel what she's talking about," and she becomes more relatable in a sense. And I think that she's gonna gain, a greater following because of that.
That is true, dude.
Or she might just.
No, I think you're right, man.
I don't know, dude.
I think you're right, because we do live in a different time. We live in a time where everybody's so damn sensitive, and they say something, the wrong thing, even though you try to be the nicest person, you try to say something the nicest way, but yet they still find a way to see it as negative, and you're offending me. And I think now that we're in that time where sympathy is just blown out of proportion. I mean, it's not 2 years ago, it's not 3 years ago now anymore.
People love to victimize themselves.
They do. And comedians, I think a lot of comedians too nowadays, they suffer from that, dude, because...
Suffer from what?
Well, they suffer from the fact that people are so sensitive.
Oh,
because they can't even... They have to be careful with what they say now, even though, like, that really shouldn't matter. Like, if you're coming to a comedy show to tell jokes, like, anything goes, dude. You should be going to a comedy show understanding and knowing.
Because it's a joke.
It's a joke. Like... anything fucking goes. And these comedians, they see, I feel like they see the world differently too. Like, a lot of things are a joke. A lot of things is they find the funnier side in things, you know?
They're wired differently for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not always so negative. So I think you're right, dude. I think that will probably catapult her, to the next level for sure.